Hey family, it's Netta at Black Lives Count, and I am back at you with another video. So apparently the Trump administration and whoever else, which I believe that the Republicans and the Democrats all go hand in hand on many of these conflicting policies, but there's something going on where many of the public schools are closing. And I don't know if you guys are aware of it. I have a friend that's in Atlanta, and she was telling me that over 16 schools in Atlanta, public schools in Atlanta, are closing. So what's really going on? You know what? We're going to talk about it once we get into a snippet of this article. So, copyright disclaimer. Copyright Act of 1976, allowances is made for fair use. Okay, and this article is from Channel 2 in Atlanta. And it says, I'm sorry family, just give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull it all up. Okay, so it says, the Atlanta Public Schools Board of Education voted unanimously on Wednesday night to accept a plan that would repurpose 16 schools, including closing more than a dozen buildings. The school district says this plan would save the district $25 million a year, and enrollment in the schools is down. I wonder what communities they're going to be closing those schools at. Can you guess? Yeah, we already know where they'll be closing them at. Okay, it goes on to say some of the parents, many of the parents had who are black, had issues with this. And there was a school board meeting where there were, it was only standing room because so many people attended in opposition of them closing all of that many schools. So some of the parents were saying, cited as saying, it's only going to make enrollment worse. It's going to make education worse for our future communities. Absolutely, positively it will. It goes on to say, some of the parents said they are further dividing the community, closing the schools in certain neighborhoods so that the children will have to be forced to go to alternative schools. Some could be farther away. Some of the people had issues saying that because property values had dropped and gentrifiers have come in at an accelerated rate, purchasing many homes in communities in less fortunate, or let's say less fortunate communities. We all understand exactly what's going on. What's going on is what always have went on in the black community. When the foot is put down, it's always going to be the black community that will be disparaged and will receive, no benefit from anything. It is a purpose to ensure that those children that come from less fortunate homes are subjugated, so that they are the next slaves in the prisons. You know what I'm saying? This is the only purpose that happens. And this is why it is important for underprivileged communities to come together. But often they don't. A lot of people think, okay, they'll move away out of certain neighborhoods, impoverished neighborhoods, which, okay, I understand it. But everybody can't leave. And so the thing is for people to come together to ensure that their communities are receiving the same benefit as other communities. You know what I'm saying? It has to come to a stop. We have to start building those communities. But what the elite want is a class of ignorance, and a class of rich and important. Those who have all of the political power and financial, economic power, and then those that are just subjugated and that will be underfoot. This is all going to come to a very nasty head. It really is. It is going to come to a very, very, very nasty head. But I believe they have plans in place as so they will be able to handle it. Family, educate your children yourselves. You can have your children educated at home. There are online programs, and eventually we know what's going to happen with those programs. They're going to become fewer and far in between, because the white man, the elite white man, wants a class of people that are just worker bees. They don't want people to be able to think for themselves, educate themselves, or anything like that. They would really love to see people going back to not even being able to read. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they did to the slaves in America. It was illegal for slaves to learn how to read. They could be killed for learning how to read. This is what America is trying to going back to. I guess this is America saying, let's make America great again, right? Okay. That's what they call it. So, hey, but family, we have to become less dependent on this government, less dependent on the white man, and more dependent on one another. We really have to pull together. And I'm just saying, many people move into their communities, and it's going to become a point where you're not going to be safe in their communities. You're really not safe in their communities now, but there will be a point where you will not be safe at all in their communities. And we really are going to have to look at being around one another again. We're going to have to make that normal, because I'm good with being around my people. I am wonderful. Now, I don't mind being around other people either. But I don't want to be around anybody ignorant, whether they're my people or somebody else's people, okay? We all want peace, but sometimes, unfortunately, we have to deal with our own ignorance, okay? People, okay? We have to deal with our own ignorant ass people. But it's going to come down to us coming back together and working together. And the ones that are assholes and ignorant, we're going to have to cut them off, period. Whether cut them off peacefully or cut them off non-peacefully, it really doesn't matter. But we're going to have to cut them off, because it's getting to a point now where they're really trying to take things back and revert back to some times that were not so great in this country for melanated people. And they are slowly taking it back, there. But, many people voted for this, and whether you voted Democrat or Republican, you voted for it regardless. Trust and believe that. When scriptures tell us, Revelation 18:4, come out of her, it does not mean just physically come out of America. It means spiritually, emotionally, and every other way to come out of America. I'm not saying you got to vote Democrat or Republican, but I'm saying, what are you getting in return for that vote that you're giving? What are you getting? And if you can't tell me something that you honestly are getting, well, then you're wasting your time. Alright, family, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the next video. Black power, peace, love, and blessings. All right, take care.